What's happening, guys? So since last video I've gotten a ton of work done on the car. Let me just go over what I've done. Clearly turbo is mounted. This is a new turbo. It's actually a T3 T4 style turbo. I just got this guy off Craigslist for super cheap with a manifold. Just a generic manifold, not for this engine, I don't remember. It's for some Toyota engine or something. Welded a new flange to my manifold to accept this turbo. I also modified my downpipe, you can see there, so that it fits, it clears everything, and hits nothing, which is great. If we come around under here, there is an exhaust that is connected to the downpipe and connected to the existing exhaust there now. So we actually have a full exhaust built for this car now. I have started it up. I'll let you guys know how it sounds. I do still have a slight leak at the manifold right at the flange, just like a little pinhole there. So I do need to pull the manifold back off, weld that up, and then it'll be good to go. Besides that, I got my intercooler mounted, hard mounted there. I just built some brackets you can see down in there and in the top. So this is built for an S13 chassis, and the top mount fits, but the bottom mounts you have to make. So there's just some brackets in there that go to some factory holes. It's nice and rigid. I have my cold side of my intercooler piping going up here into the throttle body, finished up, and that's all tight actually, so that's done. I have to cap off this hose. That's the one thing I've left on the cool side. I just had the radiator here just sort of for mock-up purposes for now. That is not actually, it's just sitting here, so just FYI if you're wondering why it's so wonky in here. But the cold side, I have started to mock it up. You can see I have the lower piece on. This upper piece, I cut the tip off, and I still am going to have to modify it further. So I have to get a 90-degree silicone coupler here. It gets delivered tomorrow. So as soon as I get it, I can cut this up some more. I think I can get away with just cutting this a bit and not having to weld anything on it. I don't know how to weld aluminum, unfortunately, so for now I can't do that. I could teach myself really quick, but I think I can get away with just cutting it and making it fit. So if I can, that's what I'm going to do. But that arrives tomorrow, and then the Z32 MAF connector, because I have a Z32 mass airflow sensor that I'm going to be running on this car, and the connector for that, the pigtail, comes in tomorrow as well, so I can get that wired into this factory MAF connector, because the 240SX one runs out at like 250 horsepower or something. We're trying to go a little bit above that. I've done a couple of sort of sketchy things with this turbo just to get it set up and running so I can run it for a short amount of times, make sure it works. You can see my fitting here for the feed is pretty ghetto. It's two fittings welded together. I just got a new one in the mail, so I'll throw that on. And I sort of have a similar setup of like a pipe fitting welded to a dash 10 AN fitting for the drain that I had laying around, and I have a new actual proper like aluminum machine drain coming in tomorrow as well, so, or maybe Friday, but whatever, it's working for now. But I don't want to leave those on there for good. They're ugly and kind of ghetto, and I'm trying to not be like that on this car. For tonight I have a couple of things I want to do. The transmission, the drive shaft for the transmission is still out. So I want to drop the drive shaft and put it in the gearbox. I want to fill it full of fluid. I've got my shifter around here somewhere. Or I'll have to find it. But I've got my shifter. That needs to go in the transmission as well. And maybe mount my radiator. So this is an aftermarket radiator. I was told it was for S chassis. I think maybe it's for an S13 because it doesn't seem to be a bolt-in affair. I'm going to put my stock radiator in for now. This one's kind of beat up as well. But stock radiator with the stock cooling fan. The stock one's actually in good shape. I think it might have been replaced at some point in this car's life. But I'll have the clutch fan and the shroud and everything, so I need to clean that up. I also want to potentially get my battery mounted. We'll see if I get to that tonight or not. But I have a Miata style battery that should fit right here next to the intercooler piping, and then I can sort of leave it in the stock location. And I have a bracket for that battery as well, so hopefully that works out okay. I also just bought a laptop on my way home from work. just a basic Windows laptop. I've got a MacBook, but Niztune software does not work with Mac, so I had to pick up a Windows computer. So I think tonight we might play a little bit with the Niztune software and see if we can get anything done. Let's get started with yanking this turbo off and this manifold off, and we're going to weld up that manifold, I guess. You know what, it's getting a little bit late already actually, so let me start this thing up for you guys just in case we run out of light before I get the manifold back on, just so I can show you guys how it sounds. Can't wait till I can take this thing and get it nice and detailed up. Oh, battery terminal's loose. Take two. The timing's not set right and the ECU has no programming on it. That's why it's loping a little bit, but we should hopefully get that fixed here pretty soon. Is it? Alright, so I told you guys I'd be using my factory radiator for now. Slight change of plans. I went and looked at my factory radiator, and this is what I found. The neck for the upper radiator hose is broken off. Now, I don't want to use the electric fans that came with this radiator. They're just, you know, electric fans aren't as good as a clutch fan. I do prefer the look and the fact that you get more space in the engine bay and stuff of electric fans, so I'll probably eventually go to electric fans, but I will do it with quality ones like Mishimoto race fans. The ones I had on this one are like generic eBay fans, so that's a no-go. So I have mounted my shroud and my AC electric fan to this Megan Racing radiator. So that is all done. It took a little bit of finagling to get everything to work right, but it is mounted and everything now, so I can throw it in the car here. Excuse my mess, I need to clean up. I'm just creating more and more of a mess every time I work instead of cleaning up and making it a nice place to work. Just looking in here, making sure I don't need to do anything before mounting the radiator, and it looks like I'm good to go. So I cannot wait to take this car to a car wash and pressure wash all this stuff out. I know I detailed this engine bay before getting the engine in, but I've sort of made a mess of it getting the engine in and getting it running, so yeah. Alright, radiator's all mounted up. Make this clip quick so I don't get copyrighted, but clears all the core support and everything. Looking pretty good, I think, but I'm not looking that good, so